Hi viewers, welcome back. And this is our Inspire segment where we like to interview someone that we think that their story is inspiring. And in this month of March, which is actually Women's Month, there's no other person than Dr. Jo Odumakin to fill in this gap. And Dr. Jo Odumakin has over 25 years experience in human rights activism in Nigeria, starting with her role as the Secretary of Women in Nigeria in Kwara State. She has campaigned against the Ibrahim Babangida military dictatorship, and she was repeatedly arrested and detained at that time. She's married to another politician and activist in Nigeria, Yinka Odumakin, and she has received several awards, as you will be finding out today, and the latest of them being the U.S. government's prestigious Secretary of State International Women of Courage Award, which she received earlier this month. She's also the founder of Women Arise for Change in Nigeria. Dr. Odumakin, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, so Dr. Odumakin, let's start from the beginning. You've always been in the forefront of activism in Nigeria, always protesting. You've been seen with several known activists like Professor Wole Soyinka, Pastor Tunde Bakare, Femi Kuti, and so on and so forth. Now, where does this strength come from? You being a woman in Nigeria, what makes you different from other Nigerian women that you are in the forefront of, you know, protests like this?
Well, I derive my strength from the fact that I want justice, fairness, and equity to reign. And injustice to one is injustice to all. So I'm always restless when I see people who suffer injustice. And that has been on since my kindergarten days, that in school, I try to defend the defenseless. And I can give up whatever I have for the cause, for a just cause. And that's just the thing about me. And each time I'm arrested, you know, they want to conduct several tests. That what is it that makes you as strong as iron, as if you are casting steel? But the thing that I believe is that my own life begins to end the day I keep silent about things that matter.
Wow. Oh, wow. I need to write down that quote. You just mentioned something that leads me to my next question. You've been detained. You've been arrested and detained more than 17 times. More than 17 times. And you keep going. I mean, why didn't you stop the first time that you were arrested? What is it that kept you going, that more than 17 times you're still here today, you're still protesting?
Well, what kept me going was the simple fact that I must not continue to agonize. I must organize for change. And despite any frustration that I face, if need be, as soon as I got actively involved in the struggle, I prepared my will. I have nothing. I just had my trust and books. And I said, if anything happens to me, my books should go to the University of the Lauren Library, while my materials should go to Motherless. And since that time, I just felt that arresting me, not only that, all sorts of injuries have been inflicted. I've had gunshot wounds. I've been detained several times. But I just have that thing in me that drives me on, because I've not seen, you know, every onlooker is either a coward or a traitor. Transfer now. And I can never be a coward, neither can I be a traitor. So that has kept me on that. No matter what deprivation I face, anything that happens to me, even if I have to die in the course of this struggle, whatever I believe in is a just cause. And I always believe that it must be done within the ambit of the law. And that is through a non-violent struggle. And that is what has kept me on.
So viewers, as you can hear her, not only has she been detained, but she's actually gone through gunshot injuries as well, but she's still here today. And actually last year she was part of the Occupy Nigeria protest, the one that was held in Lagos, and we're just gonna play a short clip of where you were talking about what you were fighting for. I know you've been explaining the reason why you're fighting, but just to see you in action and to hear you talk about what you believe in. So we're just gonna play that clip briefly.
People are impoverished, they are frustrated, they are miserable, and they have come to realize that they've been deceived for a very, very long time. And how on earth can the president of a country come and give them a wicked New Year gift? Close to $1 billion is used to feed those people in Aso Rock. 300 million to buy cutleries. So we are tired and we are saying that we have had enough.
Been Dr. Odumakin talking at the Occupy Nigeria protest held in Lagos, and you were talking about why it's important for Nigerians to get out and protest this subsidy removal, and it's wonderful to see your passion and to see you in action. But Dr. Odumakin, it looks to me like the more you fight, the more corruption still progresses in Nigeria. I mean, a lot of things are still there right now that are still going on. And just to bring it home, the president just announced that he will be increasing the price of fuel one more time, that he would completely remove subsidy. And I'm just wondering what you have to say to that, since you protested last year. So what's going to happen this year? What should we expect from activists like you this year if the president should go forward with this plan?
We have said enough is enough. We cannot justify the infliction of hardship on the people, citizens of this country. As the sixth largest oil producer, we have also found out that what we were subsidizing then was not fuel, they were subsidizing corruption. And we have had mind-boggling revelations of all those that stole us broke. And I want to say that when small thieves, when handsets are stolen, little things are stolen in this country, people like that get like 5 years, 10 years imprisonment. But those who have bled us white just get a on the wrist. And there comes a time in the life of any nation where people must rise up in unity to say enough is enough. We want to warn and we want to tell President Goodluck Jonathan that we can never subsidize corruption again. And impunity that has been on for a very long time, because the inability to break all those who have perpetrated these unions as like bleeding us white, the inability to bring them to book have emboldened all those who have been killing us broke. So we want to sound that note of warning, and we want to say that not for once would we tolerate fuel increment. Not until corruption that is cancelled, because as I speak, Nigeria lies critically ill at the intensive care unit with all the symptoms of a failing nation. And corruption is what has brought us to this sorry state. So not until this corruption is frontally fought, frontally tackled, honestly, we're going to ensure that we use our last drop of blood in making sure that our people who have been pauperized, more than 90% of our population live below $1 per day. We have had the highest level of maternal mortality, domestic violence. Men are frustrated. They are killing their wives daily. People are losing their jobs, unemployment, infrastructural decay. And as I speak this moment, government has not been able to bring people who have been stealing us broke to book. So we will not. It is not tenable, and we are going to make sure that we use our last drop of blood to defend it. And like Martin Luther King said, in the end, we will not remember the words of the wicked, but the silence of our friends. Those who keep silent in the face of tyranny, those who believe that by inflicting injuries on citizens of this country, those who believe that we are going to pay more for the excesses, for the lifestyle of officials, have not only become corrupt, but some have become officials. We will not take that.
So, Dr. Odumakin, are you saying that we should expect another protest if this plan goes through, if the fuel price increases?
Honestly, we should expect the mother of all rallies. It's not only rallies.
Wow.
Pollution is imminent, and I'm sure they will not dare us.
Wow, I mean, wonderful hearing you talking like this. But you know, my next question, Dr. Odumakin, is what are you doing to get more women to be more active? Because it looks like you said in one of your interviews that I was watching, you said that the main language of Nigerian women is silence. That they just, you know, they're just silent about everything that is going on. But why is that? And what are you doing to get women to get in the front and to speak up and participate in, you know, the politics of Nigeria?
Well, it's the essence of breaking this culture of silence that Women Arise for Change initiative was formed 10 years ago. And we've always told our women folk that they cannot fold their arms akimbo and continue to agonize. They are the ones who can bring issues on the front burner. And that is so insulting. It's nauseating when women, we cannot use our numerical strength in making sure that we bring issues to the front burner. Women should not get to that extent that they will become cheerleaders. They will tie their head tie and they will continue to help politicians. That is why one of our objectives in terms of Women Arise is to break this culture of silence. While breaking the culture of silence, we have been mobilizing women. We have been making them more conscious. We have allowed them to realize that they are the only ones who can take their destiny in their own hands. And nobody should be used for spare tire. And we told our women that it's not only aspiring to become president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, even at the level of the grassroots, women can be councillors, they can be local government chairmen. It's not that it has to be systematic, and they should not expect that it's going to be 100 meters race where we start off and get to our destination. It's going to gather momentum, and I'm glad that a lot of our women are coming on board. I'm also certain, I'm optimistic, I remain an incurable optimist in the aspect that women are the ones who can take their destiny in their own hands. And I want to tell you that it has not been the sad story that we've always been listening to. Our women are now realizing, they are now getting conscious, and they have come to that level in which they now know that they are the only ones who can take their destiny in their own hands, and they are doing that already. And I want to assure you that honestly, I'm positive that women, like the name calls, our program is Women Arise Revolution. When women speak, women remain the life wire for the sustenance of democracy. They remain the lubricant for the survival of any nation. And he that has women has the future.
Dr. Odumakin, let's talk briefly about Africa in general while we're rounding up. A lot of people have been saying that Africa doesn't need aid, but investment. And I'm just wondering, you know, your view about this and why.
Well, the thing has to come pari passu. We don't need aid, but investment. But I want to tell you that we need a lot more in terms of aid. We need assistance. We need to be to get, you know, to that level where in terms of sustenance we can sustain ourselves. And I also want to say that when we are talking about it, investment is also paramount. But with Africa, we are supposed to be a giant. But the thing is that most of our leaders are just opportunists. Most of them embezzle, they think about themselves, they are not selfless, theirs is not service, but theirs is power. And I think that when we are talking about investment, we need to create a conducive environment that will attract, you know, such investment. For instance, where terrorism is the order of the day, where corruption becomes a recurring decimal, where impunity is on the rise, where people do not have the interest of the poor masses at heart, where 5 people are just richer than the whole of Africa. I think that is very, very sad. So in as much,
go ahead, finish that. Sorry.
In as much as we are talking about aid, we also need to create an enabling environment that will enable us have more investment,
So,
and at the same time giving us aid in Africa.
So if I get you right, you're saying that we do need aids, but we need to learn to stand on our feet as well and not just depend on the Western world to help us out all the time. We need to start our own investment stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
yes.
so I want to talk briefly about, you know, Western perception of Africa. I'm wondering if you've seen the short movie called Kony 2012. Were you able to see that movie when it came out? No. Kony 2012 about Uganda.
Okay, about Uganda, yes. Yeah,
yes, and you know, just in one sentence, I'm wondering what you think about it.
Well, it goes a long way in showing, you know, I think there should be a change of mindset. There are very good things that can also come out from Africa. And I think that it has to do with mindset. There must be a change of mindset. And as soon as the change of that mindset occurs, then we too should also brace up so that where we reach that level of respectability is what we should always sustain. And while sustaining it, we should also ensure that we don't always go in for cosmetic solutions, but lasting solutions that can stand the test of time.
I see. Dr. Odumakin, you know, because of all these activisms that you've done, you've won several awards. I mean, I can't even start naming them. Several times you've been named the hero of democracy and good governance. You've been named the defender of women, the icon of democracy, the advocate for good governance, champion of women empowerment, and so on and so forth. When you started out protesting and, you know, being active and all that several years ago, did you ever think that you will get to that point where you will get all these awards? And not just that, your recent award is the one that you just came to receive here in the U.S., the American Awards Secretary of State International Women of Courage Award, which was presented by the First Lady of the U.S., Michelle Obama. Did you ever think that you will get to that point where you will be recognized not just in Nigeria, but also here in the U.S.?
Well, it never occurred to me. What I was just doing, I was just interested in making sure that we have a just society, a society where freedom and equity reigns. And honestly, I've, you know, Kalman said that of us have interpreted in one, but the problem is to change it. So I was just craving for that change, and I knew that change will not come. It has to be true international. And that's what will bring about change. So I didn't even think about that. I'm getting to such an extent where I'm recognized. Each time I'm recognized, it emboldens me, it encourages me, it motivates me. There's the urge for me to do more. And the recent award, one of the things I did hear Secretary Kerry say, and Michelle Obama, was that the United States will stand with us side by side. So it gladdens one to know that one is not alone, and that no matter what one is fighting for, because injustice to one is injustice to all, and injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And honestly, talk is very cheap. It's very cheap for one to talk, but in terms of practicals, and I'm so happy that America's foreign policy, in terms of practicals, American foreign policy has been able to cushion the effects of some of the suffering that the vulnerable people encounter in Africa and especially in Nigeria. So this award, honestly, there's going to be more synergy. I'm going to ensure that whatever I do that not for my own sake, but for the sake of tomorrow. I have my eye on posterity, and I know that history will always my best judge, and that is why this award has come my way. And with this award, it has encouraged me, and I'm going to do a lot more that I think I've never done before.
Wonderful. That's very exciting. Well, Dr. Odumakin, this is my last question, and I just want you to make it as brief as you can. I just want you to talk briefly to a Nigerian woman, even if it's a young lady like me. I mean, you're never too young, but a lot of Nigerian women who are, because men are protesting, men are up there in the front, but a lot of Nigerian women have this mentality that this is a man's job, or I'm a woman, I'm not supposed to talk about things like this. So can you just leave us with a challenge, you know, just talk to the Nigerian woman today about why they need to stand up and fight for their rights?
Well, Nigerian men, I just think that we must stop agonizing and organize for change. We have to take our destiny in our own hands. We should not just think that justice will come our way without us being committed to something. And those who fear for death, those who believe that there's no future, those who think that they don't have business in Nigeria must ensure that we have a Nigeria that works. And a Nigeria that works will be brought to reality when men and women hold hands and we stand together, and in unity we can achieve more. And finally, I want to say that during the slave trade era, a Guyanese planter and his friend exchanged correspondence, and his friend said, how do you keep all these slaves under your control? He said, we simply keep them divided. The more united we are as women, the more assertive, the more we believe that if we cooperate with the men folk, if we stand side by side with them, because beside every successful man is a woman, then we'll have a Nigeria that works.
Wonderful. Dr. Odumakin, thank you so much for coming on Sahara TV today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And once again, congratulations on your recent award here in the US. We're very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, viewers, that has been Dr. Josephine Odumakin. I'm sure that you've been inspired by her story. And if you don't remember anything else, she said, and when she was talking, she said that the day she stops fighting for what matters, that's the day her life stops. So hopefully you will keep that in mind on why we need to speak up and fight against all the atrocities that are going on and injustices in our country and in Africa as a whole. So that has been our Inspire segment today. Stay tuned, we have more to come.